Today the auction is having some delays, so I decided as I waited for the auction to start that I would actually go over maybe some purchases that we planned on making today with you guys and see if maybe that could assist you guys in having an idea of what it is that we look for when we're making purchases, what goes into making an auction purchase, what sort of money we're spending on these specific vehicles that we are purchasing, and to see if maybe somebody would like to tune in and see exactly what it is that we do and how it is that we perform. For us, what we do is pretty much any dealership, they're going to use some type of appraisal tool. So for us, we're currently using Blvd Pro Vision, and that is what we use as our go-to or as our tool to appraise the specific vehicles before they ever come on the auction block. So what that tool does is Provision Blvd. It's a tool that crawls the internet and it looks for all competitive options in your market of the specific vehicle that you're looking at, and it shows you exactly what those vehicles are listed for, the different mileage that those vehicles have, and even vehicles that have sold within a certain time frame of the date that you're looking at your vehicles to purchase. So they also have another tool that's called Blvd Stockwave, and what Stockwave does is that's their actual auction tool. So you can use that in lane when you're looking at different vehicles to purchase, or as those vehicles are actually going through lane, and see a very similar sort of appraisal on that vehicle. You get to see the Carfax report, you get to see the different books that you're looking at, whatever you choose, whether that be NADA, JD Power, Kelley Blue Book, Black Book, MMR. These are the different tools that we use to assess and appraise our vehicles in inventory. So as I'm waiting for this auction to start up, I figured I'd just kind of go over the basis of what we've done up to this point because there is a delay here. And these vehicles that I already have on our list, our two guys in our reconditioning department, they have actually already went to the auction. They physically inspected these vehicles. They wrote out a list of what they thought the reconditioning on those vehicles would look like, what we would need to do, and these sort of different things. So then when I had those notes, I went over in our system and I appraised each vehicle individually based on the report that they supplied to me. And then I estimated from there what the cost of those repairs may be. And then I estimated what I would want to pay for those cars, with the different desired spread that I would want as profit as a dealership and a company, and then what I thought that they would sell for based on our Provision Blvd tool. So I already have all that stuff done. I have all my notes in. I have my estimates of reconditioning. I have what I want to pay, what I think I can sell the car for. And then as these vehicles come up on the block, I'll already have those notes saved, an idea of what I want to spend, and then it gives me an understanding, knowledge to an insight to be able to know what I ought to be able to pay for that car and so on. So for us, there's a lot of different auctions that people go to. There's a lot of independent auctions. Then you have the main auctions like Odessa and Mannheim. The different auction houses that you can go to or attend to purchase inventory. There's a lot of online stuff, OVE. There's different online portals that you can also purchase a lot of vehicles from, which in this day and age, a lot of people purchase specifically online. But for us as a moderate size independent, what I prefer is for us to be able to see the vehicles in person, because when we can see the cars in person, we have a lot better of an idea of what the quality and the condition of that car is in. So most auctions, they're going to give you something that they call a CR, which is just a condition report. But those condition reports can vary hugely depending on who actually did it. Even inside of the same auction house. So like if you're go to a Mannheim auction, and you get a 4.0 CR from one auction and you get a 4.0 CR from another auction, even though it's the same exact auction house, those appraisals or those estimates of the condition of that car can vary hugely. And then even at the same exact auction, if you get a different person doing that condition report or that CR, that condition report can vary hugely. So you could buy one car and it's a 4.0 and it's in amazing condition, and you could buy another car and it's a 4.0 and it's got a lot of aftermarket paint work. It still needs a lot of work to get it up to retail worthiness for your dealership, and you might estimate a much smaller appraisal on your reconditioning expense than what it's going to actually require, because none of your personal individuals have seen it in person. So for us, what we like to do is we like to inspect our cars in person first. And then once we get that physical inspection of the report, then I do my online inspection and report based on the numbers that I see. And I apologize for you guys for continuing to look off and different things. I'm waiting for the auction to start, so still trying to do my job, but want to add some value to you guys this morning, and trying to keep this going until the auction actually starts. Now for us, we acquire the majority of our inventory from CarMax actually. So CarMax actually has they buy all of these cars off the public, and then there's a lot of times when they don't want to list these cars at their dealerships for whatever reason. It doesn't fit their standard. It's had some sort of accident. The reconditioning on that car is higher than they want it to be. For whatever reason, they might not want to buy that car or sell that car on their facility. So they actually hold their own auctions, and we have picked up buying a lot of cars from them over the last couple years. Again, everybody has their own priorities or their own opinions of who they prefer to purchase from. For us, we've tried the Mannheims, we've tried the Odessas. There's a few local independent auctions that we do like to attend. We've done OVE, we've done the online auctions, we've done back lots, we've done a lot of these different things. But what we have found that has worked for us is purchasing from a local CarMax store, because it's close to our facility. It's a smaller auction, so there's not a whole bunch of cars that you have to go through to find the ones that you want. They usually run about 70 or 80 cars each week, and out of those we can usually pick up anywhere from 2 to even 8, 9, or 10 of their units. And then also with dealing with a smaller auction like that, even though it's CarMax, they get to know us personally as a dealership, because they're only running 60 to 80 cars, and we may pick up 10% or 15% of the vehicles that they actually run each week. So when you do that, you have a little bit more pull with the individuals at that facility, even though the company itself is huge and they have to work within the policies of the company. You get to build relationships with those people, and that's a good point, is that if you are newer to auctions, if you're a dealer and you're watching this video and not just a consumer who's looking for some insights on how dealers think and how dealers operate, if you're newer to the automotive industry, that's a big part, is like attending auctions and getting to know the individuals who are actually running the lanes, the people who are the individuals auctioning the cars off, the people in charge, the people who are running the desks, the people who are in the post-sale inspections, the PSIs. Because when you do that, they're going to show you a little bit of favor when you come in to the auction, right? If you have an issue with one of your purchases or an issue with one of the vehicles, then they're going to give you more of an advantage, or they may give you a little bit more leniency, right? So that's what we have found with this local CarMax auction that we deal with, is we found that we get a little bit more priority because it's a smaller auction. We buy a lot of their inventory, and then when we have issues with our vehicles, they help assist us. And what I'm going to do for now, because it looks like it's taking a little while for this auction to start, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this video off. Maybe we'll cut some of the purchases back in. I was hoping to kind of record some, then they would start the auction and I'd be able to show you guys in real time some of the purchases that we made. But I kind of went over some insights with you guys on this video that you could see, what goes into the purchasing on the front end. How, this is a time intensive industry. Like, you don't just show up to the auction and buy cars. It's all based on the data and the insight that you can have to be able to apply. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of cut off for now, and then when the auction starts back up, I'll cut back on, let you guys see some of the purchases that we make, and then maybe I'll come back in and splice in some of my comments of why I thought those were good cars to buy, why I felt that I could pay the numbers that I paid, and go on from there. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back shortly. So the auction here, it has started. And what I'm going to attempt to do, I was trying to set my phone up so you guys could see, but I'm going to just hold it as the auction goes. And I guess they're having issues with the audio company-wide. I see if you look in, you can see the note here. I'm actually asking where's the sound. But I can see, if you see down here on the bottom, you see that we have a few cars coming up. Those are highlighted on our list. And I'm going to try to go over with you guys these cars real quick as they come up. It's going to be quick. So you can see here, I already have notes: pay $8,000, sell around 12, 1,500 recon. And then I list over like the different owners of the vehicle, and then, different things that I saw in the history report. It was already listed by another vendor, and different things like that. But I'm trying to also pay attention. Obviously, I'm doing my job here to try to purchase these cars, right? So I got my auction on block, and a lot of times we have to pay over what I estimated what I wanted for that. So this vehicle, I say pay 8, sell around 12. You see it's already starting at 8,000. Recon, whatever, 2 owners, pretty good maintenance, no body damage, AC. So I'm trying to read my notes. And a lot of times I have to pay over what I estimated for it. So you already see it's already up at 8,000. Let's see, 1,500 recon. I'm going to hit it here at 9. Let's see what happens. And let's see if we get it. Went to 94. Let's see. Pay one more time. Let's see if we win it at the 94. If not, I'm going to let it go. It's probably already paying a little too much for that specific unit. And we'll see what happens. There we go. We won it at 94. So you even see, even on our estimates, like that car, I'm estimating it to sell at 12,000. It's just a dealer for maintenance, underbody good, tires good, minor scratches. You see good, all electronics work, minor wear and tear. The car just needs a solid detail. Okay, so this one looks like it's pretty good also. I got paid 9 to 10. It's already at 8,000. It's going up. I'll hit it here at 86. Let's see what happens. You want to make sure that as you're bidding in lane, especially on an online auction like this with no noise, that you're able to let the auctioneer see that you have some sort of interest. Now, there's times when I might not try to keep hitting it, or I might try to hold off on hitting it until kind of towards the end, because I don't want people to see me being interested in that car. But when you have no sound, it makes it a little bit more difficult. And you see here, I got paid 8, 9 to 10. I'm already up at like 10 something. So 10.7 that's probably about my cap on this specific car. I'm going to probably let it go at this point. I see sell 13 to 14, 10.9. You got fees involved. They'll be at 11.5. You're going to be around 12,000 or 12.5 on that specific car to purchase it. So I've already bought one with you guys in lane. Let me get pay 2, sell 6, 3 owners, no accidents, good maintenance, underbody clean, tires okay. That's that. So I'm not going to pay up on this car. There's just too many issues here going on, especially for a 2015 Sentra higher mileage. So I'm going to let that one go. That first one I paid up on, or the second one I was interested in, those are Hondas or Lexuses. So, you know, a Honda or a Lexus, you know, they're going to carry a premium. So I'm willing to pay a little bit more, especially if it doesn't have a bunch of recon expense involved. So I'm just analyzing, what I'm doing right now is analyzing the next car up on my list, because I know I'm not going to buy this Sentra. So this is pretty good, but the auction itself is listing it as structural. On the Carfax, it shows 1 owner, 2 minor accidents. So that should depreciate the value of this car in lane. And we'll see what happens. I got pay 12, sell 16 to 17,000. Light recon, 1 owner, 2 accidents, 1 modder. CarMax list structural, unable to locate structural damage. That's notes from our guys. All electronics work, AC good, clean car, just needs quick detail. So hopefully I can buy this one. I paid up a little bit on that Honda. Hopefully we can get this one at a good deal since the auction house is listing it as structural damage. Let's see what happens on this car. They're taking a little bit of time to start this one on the block for some reason. So that's what I got on this car. You know, this is a newer car, good mileage. We do actually already have 2 of these in stock. One of them is really low miles, so we got it listed low 20s, so that might be why that one's not really moving. The other one we just purchased last week needed a decent amount of work, but it's very affordable, whereas this one looks like it's super clean, but the auction itself is listed in as structural. So I'm hoping that we're able to pick this one up at a really good deal. You know, there's times when you're going to pay up on cars and the profit that you're going to have is going to be very minimal. It's going to be very minimal. So you got to make sure that when you're purchasing the vehicles, that you have some that you're getting more spread on, to where you have more of that profit margin to bring those numbers up for yourself. And so hopefully that's what'll happen on this one. I'll be able to pick this nice car up that doesn't need too much reconditioning, because the auction is listed in a structural, and get it for a good deal. They can start anytime now. Obviously, as you guys can see, the auction is having some issues today. So, the life of a car dealer. Auction was supposed to start 30 minutes ago. Started about 20 minutes late, and now we're only 10 cars in. So, this is how it's looking like. Here we go. So, this is starting. So, let's see what happens. They're starting it at 11. Now they're down to 10. All right, so it's starting to run. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit it. If I could hear what was happening, I probably wouldn't be hitting it so quickly. But without being able to hear what's happening, I gotta kind of, you know, get on it, because I don't want it to close out on me. So my number's at 12. We're already at 12.2. Now we're at 12.6. Hopefully I'll win it here. There we go. Won it at 12.6. So that's kind of what it looks like. I mean, that's what you guys see. I bought 2 with you guys on. I'm passing on this one. I got it on my list, but too many issues for me if it's not starting and stuff on that specific car. So you guys see, you know, some cars ran. One I was able to win 2. One I paid up on. The other one I still paid a little bit more than what I was wanting to pay. And you know, you know, you're not going to win everything that you have, right? You're not going to win everything that you have, and everything's not going to be the absolute best deal. But if you don't have cars, then you can't sell cars. You know, you can't sell from an empty basket, right? So That's where we're at. I appreciate you guys for tuning into the channel today. If you guys got some value out of this episode or out of this, please like, subscribe, share on all major platforms. Shoot the YouTube channel a follow. I'm sorry, guys. I'm used to saying other stuff, but yeah, shoot us a follow, you guys, and help us grow the channel. Thanks a lot. So today, out of the auction, we ended up with 5 cars. These are the 5 vehicles that we ended up purchasing. As you see on my list here, I'm just going to go over and show you guys what the goals were that I wanted to get on the pricing, and then what we ended up paying. You can see exactly what we paid on these cars. So you see the 2015 Camry, my goal was to pay $10,000 for that vehicle. We ended up at $9,860 out the door, so paid a little bit less than what the goal was. This is a 2015 Camry, has 54,000 miles. So 52,000 miles. So, you know, there's a lot of people, they think that, you know, you're getting these cars for like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, even on, you know, a 10-year-old Camry. That vehicle's still selling for right around or over $10,000. We ended up picking up this Lincoln MKZ 2019, pretty nice vehicle. That was, I believe, the one that might have had structural damage listed by the auction, but the vehicle on the Carfax report showed clean, so my goal was $13,000 on that car. Ended up paying $14,100. We got this 2017 Kia Soul. This car does only have 10,000 miles on it, so very low on the miles. But this vehicle, my goal was to pay $10,000. We ended up paying $10,470, so paid over the goal. This 2021 Ultimate SR, we paid $13,000. The goal was $12,000, so we paid about $1,000 over what my goal was. And then we have this Honda CR-V where my goal was $8,000. We ended up paying $9,860, so almost $2,000 over the goal price. And again, as you see, this is a 2013 CR-V, has 99,000 miles, and we as a dealer paid very close to $10,000. That's before any of our reconditioning cost, any expenses invested into it, and any cost of our dealership to operate on a daily basis. So a lot of people, they think that we're picking up these cars for a little bit of nothing, and then, you know, we're able to mark them up $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. That's not really how it works. But this is what we ended up paying for the vehicles at auction today, and what our goal was to achieve.